Hey everyone, I wanted to make a little update video about 1.3 beta for Bannerlord. We've not gotten an official update in a week, so I think it's very important to let all of you know about what they're doing right now. While there has not been an updated patch note list put out, there is a forum post by Callum, the community manager for Bannerlord. I believe the reason why they didn't want to update the official patch note list is to not spam people who are unstable, but in my own personal view, my own personal take on it is that they should let everyone know about every bit of work that they're doing, because it really reassures people that, hey, they're working hard, they're not slacking off, and they're doing as much as they can to solve every issue in the game. Because I have noticed as of late, a lot of people have been getting much angrier about not hearing from them. So, in my view, once more, if you really want people to kind of be on your side, you'll want to let people know about everything that you are doing, because even if you're not playing on beta right now, you want to know that beta is doing well, that it's being updated, because you know eventually the beta branch 1.3 will become the stable branch, and then we'll have 1.4 in beta, and 1.3 will be the new stable branch. So any news to me is a good thing, even if it is an update about why you're having a longer delay than usual. So anyway, let's go over here and look at what Callum has to say. We just put out another hotfix to the beta branch. Part of this hotfix is a test a fix for a critical bug that is currently preventing us from moving the beta branch to main and releasing our next beta update. So that alone lets us know what has been going on. I haven't known what's been up, but now I do. Evidently, there's some critical flaw that is keeping them from moving beta to stable main branch. And over here, let's see, and I'll go into more detail for things that require more context and information, but a few of these are pretty simple. Anyway, fixed an issue where newly created characters and other objects could get mixed up with each other. This created instability and possibly crashes. It was also responsible for broken companions and encyclopedia problems. The fix does not recover broken beta save games, but it should resolve the issue for new games. You can test it by checking if newly created characters or other objects have their own appropriate encyclopedia pages instead of another characters or objects page. That was a big deal to me because right now I have many kids who I can't really interact with at all via my encyclopedia page, because right now when I click on them, it'll bring them to some random guy's page. So while it won't fix my current kids, any future kids I have will at least have their own page, which is great. And over here, fixed a rare crash that occurred when initializing the final phase of the main storyline for Imperial supporters. Again, a minor fix because I don't really mess with a main quest line whenever I can. I try to avoid that because right now I'm not trying to create my own kingdom. But for those of you who are, that is a great fix. Then over here, fixed a crash that occurred when choosing the try to get away option in an encounter. Then down here, fixed a save and load related crash that occurred when entering the training field with a companion. Another minor one. Now here's a big one that will change up your gameplay. Some lords were losing all of their money and then starving, which I saw quite a bit of. Whenever I had lords in my army, they would end up just starving constantly. They would have to eat my food, which then would provide me with more influence. So I've always had a lot of influence, not because of the food alone, but it did not hurt at all. Okay, this was due to a fortification tax being too low, or fortification taxes being too low overall. They have been increased by 25%. Also, NPC clan leaders now react faster to losing money and reduce their garrison sizes before going bankrupt. Garrisons have been pretty large lately, and now I know that has been causing them to lose all of their money and thereby starve. Okay, over here, Council of Commons policy effect was 1 influence per notable in the settlement. It is now 0.1 influence per notable. Also, +1 militia effect per notable is removed. Council of Commons was insane, dude. Like with what I had, not even as a faction leader, just as a vassal, I was getting like over +60 influence per day. So that had to be nerfed. Anyway, over here we've got, there was no waiting time after captured lords were released. They were spawning at the next daily tick, now they spawn at least 2 days after. That really explains a lot. I remember I would capture one lord, let him go, then out of nowhere, they would be right there, right by me. If I was right by some hostile town, they would just pop up. And here's another big change that is going to help you out. So not only are they going to wait 2 days, which is going to be a big balance change to wars, they will also only spawn with only 10% of their party size rather than 25%. So not only would they respawn instantly, they would have a fairly large group right from the very beginning. All right, over here. Owners now calculate their settlement's values more conservatively. If there was any hostile action to their fiefs, their defense score grew significantly, and they would go directly there to help. This negatively affected all AI score calculation systems. Additionally, there were other mechanics using this value that were also affected negatively. Okay, let's see here. So evidently, their defense score would just go up whenever there's any hostile action, and they would rush there to help out. Okay, interesting. And I wonder if that means overall, I'm trying to gauge what that means fully. I'm understanding that maybe they're going to value what they own a bit less. So maybe they won't rush nearly as fast. Whenever I would besiege like one town, I would notice how quickly some lords or even armies would come by. It would be like that, man. They would just zoom by there. It would be bananas. So again, these are all ways to tweak the AI so that they're not nearly as overwhelming. They're omnipresent. Right now, I've been winning every battle, but I'm still losing a war where I have just been killing people nonstop. I have conquered like 5 towns, over 10 castles, yet my side is still losing. Largely because of a lot of the problems that have now since been solved in a little hotfix here. Here's another little update by a developer that should provide some clarity about an issue in the game right now. So Dabos37, he said, should we create a new game to test the issue with lords going bankrupt? If not, it looks like some lords are still getting some issues. So one developer here, who I believe has been focused on trying to solve the issues for Sturgia and other economic issues for the game, he says, no, but it can take some time to recover. The bankrupt problem is not 100% fixed, but there will be many less lords going bankrupt after that patch. So instead of all 10 or the entire world going bankrupt, only 3 out of 10 may go bankrupt instead. That is a huge improvement. Okay. They are not releasing men from their garrisons. The lord needs to go to their settlement and take some men from there, then release them. That will be added in a future patch. Okay, so if they have like 1 or 2 small money making locations like 1 or 2 castles, and they have huge garrisons still there, they'll still lose a lot of money per day and still starve, but it has been mitigated just a little bit. Yeah, I have seen a lot of developers here actually answering questions on the forums, which is really cool. But I hope that did help all of you out. If you want more information in the future, do let me know. And I do have one more thing to share with all of you in case you're curious about my own personal mods that I have made, but that will conclude our little beta patch node update. Here's the first of my 2 mods. Here's one that's meant to stand on its own. Now, if you want to have only their appearances for Asterix and Obelix, I have a little mod for that, or a little file for that. They make me upload something for it, so I had to put up a little zip file for a text file where you've got their appearance data, and then you only need to use detailed character creation to paste it in. Then you could change an existing character or even a wanderer to fit the looks of Asterix and Obelix too. Right over here. Now Obelix was a little bit easier. Once I can figure out how to make him even shorter, I freaking zipped down that slider as low as it could go. So he's actually very short. And Obelix, I mean, you could see him here, a very iconic duo, so I thought many of you would enjoy that. And there are mods that can help you out too when it comes to trying to recruit custom companions. Right now, you've got to be lucky. You've got to hope that they spawn in. But if you want to kind of ensure that they do spawn in, then you can use one mod called over here, use spawn non-vanilla companions. That way, it'll only spawn in custom companions. Then you also have unlimited wanderers. That will just allow as many wanderers as possible to spawn in. So you won't have to worry about that, but you would need to wait over time. And I do believe you would need a new save game as well. Now, if you look over here, each character, they are very skilled. Obelix, I believe I gave him 250 and two-handed. He's very good at throwing too. Asterix, he's very good with a blade, and they're both very fast. Because, hey, if you want them to look the part, they're not going to wear a lot of armor. Much like that. So they've got to be quick if you want them to get any kills at all. Anyway, that's one mod. Now it's time to show you one more. Here is mod number 2. Cyrillus Companions, and I only have one companion up right now. That would be Sulla. If you've watched my Sulla campaign, and if you have not, I'll provide some context. He's my first Bannerlord character. He conquered the entire map, and so He's got a very large backstory and a lot of lore behind him. People have made custom maps about what his empire would look like after he passed on. People have made fan art and all of that. So I finally made him into a mod where you could have him in your own game. Now, I did have to take away his cataphract armor. I tried to go hire him in a little test run, and it would have costed me over 700,000 dinars, which means you wouldn't be able to hire him till like the very end of your game or towards it, like that final act. But he's very good. If you have a look over here, you can see what he looks like. That's his old gear. Now he's got like some random companion gear, so he should be a lot cheaper. He's currently 45 here. You can see his skills. Leadership is very high. Steward, decently high. It's okay. It's at 120. Riding 200, throwing 200, pole arms 250, two-handed 180, one-handed 150, athletics 150. So again, he's going to be a great solid character to use if you need a new party leader, if you just need someone who's good at everything. He's able to fill in a lot of gaps. All right, and beyond that, he's got his own backstory. I've been editing a little bit about it. I've been trimming it down and trying to work on the wording overall, but he does have his own backstory. He's meant to be very pompous, very arrogant, but that's just who he is. He's one of those guys where he acts like a complete Chad, but he actually does care about everyone under his command. That's a big part of him. He's meant to be hypocritical, that the people of the empire that he fought and saved love him, but other people like Botanians hate him because of what he did to their people, kind of like when Caesar went over to Gaul. I'm sure many of those people over in Gaul didn't really care for Caesar very much. Actually, Asterix and Obelix would not like him very much. Anyway, I hope that all of you enjoyed a little update video that I've put together. And if you want me to do more in the future, let me know. If it helps you out, then let me know that too, because I mean, that lets me know what I should be putting out for all of you. But anyway, enjoy your games. I'm going to go pop into mine, and until then.